it's really easy to forget that being a human in front of other human beings is a skill, is an art form. It's easy to say, this is me, all of them. It's you, but in a different role, a bigger you. I've always believed that. And to get to that place of the bigger you, we've got to disrupt some patterns. We've got to shake things up. You got to crawl before you walk, and doing something that is simple and basic as you are in a one-to-one at Starbucks is an entirely different experience when it's you in front of 12 jurors. And we forget, because we immediately push back on this idea that we're playing a role. You're in a performance. And a performance is nothing more than the wording for, or the idea of giving the truth in the best way that you know how to present itself. What's your big, what's your small, what's your gestures, all the different things that go into your storytelling instrument allows you to be able to have a better and stronger connection to your jurors. But don't be fooled. This is a role that you're growing into and learning how to do and apply one of the cardinal principles of improvisation, which is trust. We risk so that we can trust. And so we got to come at storytelling from a different way. There's the surface mechanics of understanding storytelling, plot, structure, conflict, and framing, and sequencing, and all the different things that are vital, of course. That's the script, that's the surface. But beneath the surface, we've got to understand that the most important part of the story is the storyteller. And that's you. And that's learning to understand and work with and through emotional connection. The 5 core different emotions that we're all differently, that we're all connected to, but we express differently. But the emotions don't change, and we've got to learn how to manage them and work with them so that the right emotion fits the right story, told to the right focus, which is your audience, your listener. So, at the ranch, they say, where does it begin? And that's great. It begins with you, but it better end with them, your listener. But looking at you and working on the role of you, the storyteller, most people ignore. And they go, how do we work on this role, so that we can become not just emotional, but emotionally available? Landscape, huge, massive difference between those two ideas, emotional and emotional availability. And we've got to know how to maneuver between those two worlds so that we're not emotional, because nobody wants to see that. The goal is not to be emotional when it comes to emotion for the right story, but emotionally available for what is the right story that we're telling here. So you got to break things up. You got to play. You got to take it, the storytelling, your storytelling ability, because really, and throw a curveball at it, because what we're talking about here is when you're disrupting patterns or your old idea of what story is, then the story becomes 1,000 times more powerful. Because to break through to others, who do you got to break through for? You got to break through to you. You got to work with your shit. You got to embrace the suck. You got to honor the struggle. So where is that in the story? It's not. The story is just there, but you got to find a way of using you to advance the story you're telling for them. And that's what this nutty theater shit is all about.